The properties of a digital collection are only as good as the last assessment. No property can be assumed to be correct until it is verified. Data management systems must maintain persistent state information even though there are multiple failure modes. The original ingestion procedure may have failed, the supporting infrastructure may fail, the operators may inadvertently delete data. Given the multiple possible failure modes, how is it possible to maintain a collection that has verifiable properties? The solution appears to be to treat properties as a result of the application of a dynamic process. At the point in time when an assessment has been completed, the properties can be claimed as existing at that time. Of course, to make an assertion at a later time, the strength of the claim will depend upon how recently a verification was done. A dynamic process to verify properties is create assessment criteria that verify compliance with the expected properties, periodically apply the assessment criteria. The trustworthiness of the collection depends upon when the properties were last checked and the events that have happened since then. For each desired property of the collection, a periodic rule is needed that is idempotent and capable of being rerun periodically. An idempotent rule can be restarted or re-executed and still function correctly. The periodic rule needs to verify the required property for every file and collection. The periodic rule also needs to log its actions. The application of the rule should not overload the system, and the rule should be managed by the data grid administrator. The properties that are claimed about a data management application determine the types of assessment criteria that need to be periodically verified. Digital libraries need to verify integrity, formats, and metadata. Integrity is actually an essential property of any data management system. Assessment criteria include checking the number and distribution of replicas and verifying checksums on each replica. Format obsolescence has been a traditional concern. However, the use of machine images that can provide the operating system environment needed for any application has lessened this concern. It is still necessary to verify the types of formats in a collection and maintain machine images to support obsolete formats. Descriptive metadata is becoming a major concern as collection sizes grow. It is necessary to verify the presence of required provenance and descriptive metadata and verify compliance of metadata terms with their registered vocabulary. An approach that may alleviate this concern is to switch to feature-based indexing and describe datasets by the features they contain. Procedures are applied to test for the presence of a feature and automatically add feature metadata. Additional properties important for preservation include chain of custody, access approval flags for protected data, and retention. Management of the chain of custody is a requirement for use of data in legal proceedings. This requires knowing not only where the data have been stored, but also who has had access permission. It is necessary to verify the access permissions on each file, parse audit trails to verify compliance over time, and generate an audit event on each access. Approval flags are needed for the management of protected data. An approved usage agreement has to be kept for every user of a protected data set. This can be defined by setting an approval flag on receipt of the usage agreement. Verification is needed that a usage agreement is available for every user who has accessed protected data. The Sarbanes-Oxley law requires that retention and disposition policies are enforced. This means that files may not be deleted until the retention period is up. Verification is needed that the disposition policies were applied when the retention period expired, that files were not deleted before the retention period was up, and that all retention periods have been enforced. The validation of assertions about a collection should be done periodically for every property that is asserted for the collection. The challenge is that it is not obvious how frequently the assertion should be verified, how strong an assertion is, or how robust an assertion is. Should assertions be verified each time an unexpected event occurs, such as a security compromise, or an equipment failure, or a power outage? Or should assertions be verified even after expected events such as shared collection access or ingestion of new material, or after maintenance periods? Note that a maintenance event which left bad microcode in a tape drive led to the loss of 10 terabytes of data at a supercomputer center. Take 7 minutes and complete exercise 65. Prioritize the state information attributes that should be verified. Which attributes are most important to your collaboration? Examples include integrity, chain of custody, metadata, formats, approval flags, retention. Are there additional attributes that should be verified? Please load your paragraph into the Lifetime Library in the subcollection class INLS 624 by the end of today's class. Please turn in homework assignment 9 by noon on Monday of the next week. Select 10 assessment criteria that should be periodically evaluated. The Policy Templates Workbook lists 97 example tasks in Chapter 1. You can select assessment criteria for any of these tasks.